in that moment that it didn't happen, I felt like it was taken away from me. So I sat around thinking, what am I going to do? You know, what am I going to do with my life? Because that was my life. For 18 years up to that point, I knew nothing else. My dad, I remember he signed me up when I was about 4 years old. Didn't know anything about it. You know, just a typical father signing his son up to play a sport. But that's really how it started. You know, he signed me up and I just fell in love with it immediately. You know, as soon as I picked up a baseball, I knew that's what I wanted to do when I was a kid. So I did move up. I always played older kids, even in Little League when I was 8, 9 years old, I was playing against 12-year-olds. But I never really questioned it. I just thought it was, you know, that's just the way it was. But I did start taking it more seriously my freshman year. And my sophomore year, that's when I told myself I want to play varsity. I really want to show out and prove to my coach that I could play at that level. You know, once I started taking it more seriously, that's when things started unfolding for me, and I started thinking, well, maybe I could play college ball. Maybe I can go past the high school level. I started getting interest my sophomore year. So when I started getting phone calls and emails, that's when I told myself, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go play college ball somewhere and, you know, fulfill my dream of being a professional. So that's kind of how it happened. The immature thinking that I was going through as a high school player is, okay, I'm going to go into college and, you know, pretty much dominate, but that's not how baseball works. Very humbling experience my freshman year. The pitching was a lot better than I expected. They really challenged me and really made me earn the respect that I wanted from college players. So, you know, I talked to a bunch of coaches. Any information that I can get that would help my game, that's what I tried to do. And after my sophomore summer in Plymouth in the NECBL, that's when things started clicking for me in college, was my junior year. Well, my thinking was, okay, go out, have a good senior year, and you know, try to get drafted by a team. That's what I've always wanted. That's what I worked towards. And you know, my senior year, I was getting contacted by a lot of teams. I did a lot of workouts after college was over. A lot of phone calls, just, you know, just a lot of contact with Major League Baseball teams. You know, I had maybe 2 weeks after college was done to wait for the draft. But as life goes, sometimes things don't go as expected. The third day of the draft went by, and I didn't see my name. And I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't upset and I didn't cry my eyes out in my bed for 3 days. You know, because that's all I wanted. I wanted to play pro ball and, you know, do something that I love to do. And in that moment that it didn't happen, I felt like it was taken away from me. So I sat around thinking, what am I going to do? You know, what am I going to do with my life? Because that was my life. For 18 years up to that point, I knew nothing else. At first, I was angry, frustrated, upset, every emotion you could think of that would portray a negative image of me. That's pretty much where I was at that point. I didn't love the game anymore. I was actually very spiteful towards my friends, towards my coaches, my teammates, and that's no way to go through life. Sometimes things happen and you got to pick yourself up, and it took me a while. Thankfully, a month later, I got a phone call from the manager in Quebec. He was good friends with a Philly scout who I worked out for that really liked me. Alex Agostino. I actually owe him a lot of gratitude, because without him I would not be in pro ball right now. So I have a a lot of thanks to him for that. And then the following year I went to another league. I went to the Frontier League and I did awful. And I realized that my love for the game wasn't there anymore. And that's not what I wanted. You know I love baseball. Baseball's given me so much. I told myself this isn't the way it's supposed to be. You know, you can't go through the rest of your life like that. So I took it upon myself after I got released from the Frontier League. I said, okay, I have to go talk to someone and figure out what's going on in my head, how I could get back to loving the game again. And I spent a lot of time with a sports psychologist, actually. My doctor's another person I owe a debt of gratitude towards, because if I didn't choose to go to him, I don't know if I'd be here in Ottawa right now. I don't know what I would be doing. I would probably be working somewhere, but there would be a piece of my life that would be missing for sure. I actually got a Facebook message from Jared, who's our hitting coach, asked me what I was doing, what were my plans, and I told him, I think I'm going back to California. And he said, well, we don't have a first baseman right now, so what do you think about coming to Ottawa? And I didn't even hesitate. I said, yeah, please send me a contract. I'll come play for you guys, and I'll give you everything I got. I could give you a long list of people from every coach that I've ever had. I'd like to thank them. My friends who have always supported me through the process of being a professional. It's not easy. I sacrifice a lot of social gatherings I can't go to. And I also the biggest thank you are to my parents. They've been my biggest fans since day one. My father comes to every game he can. I don't think I've ever seen a more proud person of their kid than my dad. I didn't see it when I was little, but now that I'm older, I see how he talks about how I am, not just as a baseball player, but as a person. That really touches home for me because, they're my best friends, my mom and dad, and without them, I wouldn't be in this situation. So I just want to thank them, and I could go on forever thanking a bunch of people. A lot of people tell you you can't do something. When you hear that, you do take it to heart and you start feeling that way sometimes, but other people's opinions about you don't have to affect your life. So that's probably the biggest thing I've learned in my journey is you have to trust what happens to you, good or bad. Without those things happening to me, I wouldn't be the man I am today.
Leads Ottawa 4-2, but Michael Gonzalez is at first, who has excellent speed. The first baseman batting left. And the pitch. High, deep drive. This ball is out of here! Vinny Guglietti has tied the game at 4. A 2-run blast over the right field wall. His first home run at home and his third this season.
Wow, what a swing from Vinny Guglietti. He had it in him. We know he has it in him.
Throws the 3-2 to Mockabee. Tap to the mound. Cox has it, takes his time, throws to first, it's wide, and he's off the bag. The go-ahead run scores. Champions take a 5-4 lead in the 8th inning.
That's why you always run out the ball, Dante.
And Ottawa takes it 5-4. Vinny Guglietti, a game-tied 2-run homer. He finished the game 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs.
Morty, great start. Way to get us through 5 2/3, 5 1/3.
Good job, Morty.
Good way to come in. The narrow way to shut. That's right.